wild ponies teach us about ADHD and systems. I'm Catherine Avery, and I help neurozesty midlife women, the ones who are juggling way too much and wondering if their brain is broken, to help them stop spiraling, start thriving, and finally build a life that actually fits. I'm going to throw back to Labor Day weekend. We had friends down visiting, and we decided to take a boat tour around Assateague Island where we could watch the famous wild ponies. And of course, thinking about this, my ADHD brain went straight to systems. Stay with me here because these ponies turned out to be the perfect metaphor for why one size fits all systems never work for ADHD women, particularly in midlife. It also applies for ADHD men. On Assateague, the ponies aren't just roaming wild with no structure. There are fences dividing them into different zones: Maryland, Virginia, National Park. Within those zones, ponies live in family groups that stick together, herds. Each herd has its own rhythm and its own way of surviving in the same environment. And here's the twist most visitors may not realize. These ponies do get help from humans. They have vet checks, make sure that they keep the humans away from the wild herds, hence the boat tour, and population control via a March census, which includes contraception and an annual pony swim. Support doesn't make them less wild. It helps them survive through those conditions. That day, I also noticed one older stallion grazing alone, strong but isolated, and per our guide, aging, so he may have been kicked out by the young stallion. He reminded me of how hard it is to make it on your own without the right support systems. That's so key. What struck me was this: even in the same ecosystem, each herd finds its own way. There's no one right way to be a wild pony, but they definitely need their herd. The fences, they're not cages, they're boundaries that give the herd space to thrive. So now, let's take this from ponies to people. If you're a midlife ADHD woman, you've probably been sold one size fits all systems. The perfect planner, the productivity app that's going to change your life, the miracle morning routine. Nothing wrong with those, but they don't always work. And what happens when they don't work? We blame ourselves. We think we're lazy, we're messy, we're crazy, we're behind. And here's the truth. Just like those pony families, our systems have to be custom. So some of us thrive with digital calendars, others of us with sticky notes. Some need daily structures. Others work better in weekly or seasonal rhythms. Some of us need accountability partners, big fan. Others rely on visual cues or timers. Your brain, your responsibilities, your season of life, they all shape your herd. Of course, your system needs to look different. Sometimes that herd is a community to light a fire under our proverbial when the task feels too big to tackle alone. That's exactly what my Get More Done accountability group is about. It's a supportive team of peeps who help cheer you on. Imagine not having to white knuckle through the hardest tasks on your own. So September is the perfect time to think about systems. Even if your kids are grown, there's still that back to school energy in the air. A sense of fresh starts, sharpened pencils. Do we even use pencils anymore? I do. New routines. But instead of forcing yourself into someone else's perfect plan this fall, what if you built a fence that actually fits you? You know what I mean? What if we created a system that isn't a cage that locks you down? And I know we ADHDers are all don't fence me in, but boundaries can create structure, freedom, and breathing room. Custom systems can honor your energy. Some days are going to be sprints, some are slow walks. That's very ADHD of us. Your season of life, sandwich generation chaos, or empty nest quiet. I had about 1 minute between empty nest and senior caregiving. Your strengths and challenges, whether you need visual reminders, accountability, or lots of flexibility. And like the ponies, you don't have to do it alone. Support isn't weakness, it's part of the system. There's no one size fits all ADHD system. What works for your friend or your boss or your daughter or your son might not work for you. And that's not failure, that's biology. Custom systems are what let you thrive in your own zone with your own herd in your own season. And this September, as the world sharpens its pencils and flips the calendar page, Maybe your best reset isn't about starting over. Maybe it's about building systems that actually fit. Thanks for watching. Every like, subscribe, and comment helps this message reach more neurozesty, high achieving, overwhelmed women who deserve our support. I appreciate you being here for the shift. Last but not least, I leave you with this thought. Systems aren't about perfection, they're about building freedom so that you can have a life that fits.